blessings in spite of. These last few days have infused us and took us to places. The devil doing his job to try to make us stay out of the place. Because if he can keep us out of the place, he can keep us out of our blessing. Last night we were talking about fresh out the valley. Fresh out the valley. And I got the glory back. And you think the devil gonna let you have glory back and ain't gonna try to take the glory back? He can get it back any way he can, or to get you not to use it. Tonight, I want to give God praise for Pastor Chandler, First Lady Chandler. Give God praise for them. Thank God for my wife, Lady Shawan. We've been on the run, boy, I'm telling you. And sometimes it takes solid people to be on the run. Because you got to be able to function and still do everything, still be able to handle God's business. Because oftentimes we don't recognize the enemy understands you get blessed when you do your best. So his first job is to keep you from doing your best, so he can kill the blessing. I think sometimes we want a lot from God, but we don't recognize the sacrifice that it takes. Tonight, Joshua chapter 1, verse 2 and 3. Since we came out of the valley and got the glory, the next question is, will you use it? Because no matter if you got it, it matters if you're going to use it. Because if you don't use it, then you wasted your time to get it. The devil does his job to make sure that you don't use it. So I want to talk about something tonight that will help you. Joshua chapter 1, verse 2 and 3. If you have it, say amen. Let's begin reading at verse 2. Let's read it aloud. Read it together. Read. Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which thou do give to them, even the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you, as I said unto Moses. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you need to understand the power of transition. You understand the power of transition. Because what oftentimes we don't mind getting to a place we just trying to get there for free. And so God says, no, you have to transition. You have to move your position. Move your position from what was to what shall be. And what is, what God is doing in your life. Father, we thank you for your word. Speak to us now with clarity. Show yourself strong in this house. We'll give your name praise. In Jesus' name we pray. You may have your seats. Somebody say the power of transition. The power of transition. When you look at the book of Joshua, it is the book of possessions. The book, I think I said it the other night, I got my hands on it. Israel had wandered for 40 years, and they had been through all kind of stuff. They'd been through hell and back, and finally they made it to the place that they had been looking for. But they were in a transition. The word transition is two words that sticks together. The first is trans, and the second part is positions. Trans comes from the word transportation. Actually means to move. Position actually comes from the word position, which means to move my position. Anytime I'm in a transition, I'm moving my position. I was in this place, but I choose to be in that place. I'm moving. Look at somebody say, I'm moving. I'm moving. And the problem with Israel is the reason they stayed in the place for 40 years is because they struggled with moving their positions. They were frustrated with Egypt. They got to the wilderness and they sat down. Yes. And they would not move. They would not move. They were unwilling to move. So God let them wander for 40 years. 40 years. Wandered. And the problem was they were going round and round. Yes. It wasn't like they was making no ground. They was going round and round. They took a 12-day journey that took them 40 years to get there. Yeah. Okay. 12 days. 12 days from where they came from to where they were supposed to be. They're supposed to be there in 12 days. Now, I don't know about nobody else, but if I'm supposed to be somewhere in 12 days, when I start getting 13, 14, 15 days, I'm worried. And then the worst part about it is they was going so much into the circle that somewhere down the line there's 3 million people eating chicken. Okay. Come on. Because they were eating quail. Okay. So if you're eating 3 million birds, there's quite a few bones got to be left. Yeah. And if you making a circle and you coming up on piles of bones, either somebody following us, or it's us. You're going around the same place. Now, the thing of it was that you got to watch it because they hated Egypt. Yes. They hated Egypt because it was the place of struggle. Yeah. And then when you get to the place of just enough, because Egypt was not enough. Yes. Then you get to the wilderness was just enough, but the God you serve said you're supposed to have more than enough. Yes. At some point, you have to start trying to figure out what happened in the transition. Yes. Because sometimes you got to stop and ask yourself if supposed to be moving just in life. At one place of your life was one thing, but at another place of your life, you ought to see something different. Yeah. If you keep riding down Edinburgh and making the circle and coming back and you keep seeing St. James on the left, this on the X, when do the terrain change? Because if the terrain don't change, then you keep going back into the same place. And when you go back into the same place, you refuse to grow up. But the problem is everything God dealt with had to move. Yes. Even the Holy Spirit, out of your belly shall flow rivers. He didn't say a pond. He didn't say a lake. He didn't say a cup full. He didn't say a pot full. He said it's going to be a river. And the reason he said it was a river is a moving body of water. And the reason it moves is water that moves cannot be contaminated. That ought to help you right there. It's easy to be contaminated when you're not moving. Okay, a pond can get funguses and get stuff in it. A lake can get stuff in it. But it's hard for a river to get contaminated because a river got an inflow and an outflow and it keeps flowing. So that's how your spirit is. If you let stuff get caught up in your spirit, it's because you done got some stuff caught up in your spirit that keeps your river from flowing. But that don't benefit nobody but the devil. That's right. Because see, when you get to the point where your river is flowing, you flush it out. You don't sit up in church stressing, you flush it out. You don't run into no brick wall and get mad, you flush it out. Look at somebody and say, flush it out. You got too much on the line not to flush it out. You can't let stuff get inside you and hold you because guess what? The stuff you let get inside you and hold you goes from anger to bitterness. And bitterness comes from the Greek word pyreka, which actually means poison. And it's stupid to keep drinking poison looking for somebody else to die. Come on. See, sometimes we got to get to the point to where you got to forgive folks whether you want to or not. You ain't forgiving folks for their sake. You forgiving folks for your own sake. Because if I don't forgive you, I'm going to be struggling with you and I'm going to be the one who missed what God's trying to do. Now, they wanted change, but they didn't want to make change. All right. Ooh, I'm going to say that again. Oftentimes we want change, but we don't want to make change. We want change, but we don't make change. Because in order for you to get from one place to another, you have to make transition. Yes, you do. And so you can be so committed to the place that it's hard for you to make transition. You can take a position and you can just be solid in that place. It can be damaging you, but you don't want to give it up.
All right.
It can be tearing you up, and you know, and this is what we do. Well, you know, I'm stubborn. No, you crazy. Because you can be stubborn enough to keep grinding down and keep damaging yourself. No. Look at somebody and say, let it go. Let it go. And the reason you gotta let it go is because Jesus says this. Jesus says, if you can't let it go for other folks, don't expect for me to let it go with you. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying. So what happens is transition is sent to get you from one place to another. Look at somebody and say, are you tired of the place?
Are you tired of the place?
Now look back at them and say, then move.
Then move. Yes.
You don't like the place, move.
Yes.
We just moved into a new place. Before we was in a place, we was on the third floor. We was on the third floor. Lady hated the place. She hated the place. I couldn't even make her understand how to handle it. She just hated the place. And for me, I used it as exercise. You know, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I go to the gym and then I go run the stairs and stuff because I say, since I'm here, I'm gonna get some benefits out of this. I ain't gonna do this. And she said, I don't care what you do. I don't like it. And so when it come down to getting groceries and stuff, she be praying coming from the grocery store, Lord. And then we get in the car, she got to sit there for a few minutes. And she tell me, I got to get my head right. I got to get my head right. And then she kept saying, Lord, we coming up out of here. We ain't gonna, and so when it was time to move, normally I usually do all that stuff. And one day she had to move us. She had to move water. She had to move the lights. And she said, I already did this, I already did this, I already did this. I'm going like, I think you're ready to move. You done already made up your mind. She already had the moves and had everything worked out. Oh, they coming on this day. I said, well, what have to do with this? She was tired of the place. When you tired of the place, you make a move. If you keep finding excuses to stay in the place, then guess what? You ain't tired. Because anytime you start getting tired of something, you cut it loose. You cut it loose. Look at somebody and say, cut it loose. So this can create a problem when you don't move, because watch this. This is what Romans says, chapter 12. It requires a moving as a Christian. Chapter 12, verse 2, it says, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed. Transform means to change by the renewing of your mind. If you're not willing to change, you'll be all right to stay in the same place.
All right.
And again, you get frustrated about the place, but you ain't trying to move.
You ain't trying to move.
And let me show you something. Oftentimes, God can be to move you spiritually, but you still staying in the same spot. And when you do that, it violates what God done put on your life.
All right.
Let me show you. When people who have been broke ultimately get money, because the mindset don't change. Now you're a dummy with money. Because you do dumb things with the money. You start throwing block parties, trying to save everybody on the street. You go buy stuff you don't need because you're trying to impress people. Because see, if that money was important to you, you wouldn't squander it. But since the money ain't important, popularity is more important to you, so you'll do dumb stuff with the money because your mindset hadn't changed. Oh, you don't hear what I'm saying? You take people who go as far as they want to go for what they want to do. Now, Mardi Gras just got on. You got a lot of folks who are all in Mardi Gras, but then you can't come to church. And the reason you can't come to church because you're talking about, well, you know that virus out there. It was at the Mardi Gras too. You worry about the virus at the church, but you're not worried about the virus at Mardi Gras. You all up in Walmart shopping with people up in there. You in the club, jam packed. In the vibe, but you ain't worried about it because that's what you want to do. But when you come to church, you got every excuse of not being here because you know what? You ain't willing to make the transition. Look at somebody say, you got to move. Let me tell you something. Some people don't want to talk about it, but there's a cost to success.
Yes, it is.
There's a cost to be successful. There's a cost to be in the blessed place. There's a cost. Much is given, much is required. What I find out about people, a lot of times you want life, but you want to try to find out what's the cheapest version you can get. What's the cheapest version you can get? God said it's not a cheap one. It costs what it costs, and it don't go on sale. Too much is given, much is required. And this is the part that we don't like reading, Eric. We don't like the part where he says, to him I give more to, him I ask more from. So if you want God to stop asking a lot from you, cut your wish list. Stop praying and asking God to do a lot of stuff for you, then God won't be asking a lot from you. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Because this is what we want everything that God got for us, but we don't want him to ask us to do nothing. And so when God gets ready to move you, you have to know how that works, because in Exodus is the book of leaving. Exit, to leave. They left Exodus, and then the book of Numbers was the book of pilgrimage, because they got hard-headed, they wandered. And then Deuteronomy was the book of preparation. They got themselves together. Then they hit the book of Joshua, to possess stuff. So see, God can't bless you when your head ain't right. God can't put stuff in your hands. See, when you tired of something, you start preparing. You start looking for stuff. You start positioning yourself. You start making things better for yourself, because you're getting ready to move. See, you ain't got to have the money. You just got to have the mind. Because God will produce what you need if you let him know you're ready to move. If you look at somebody and say, I'm ready to move. I don't like where I'm at, I'm getting ready to move. I don't like what's going on in my life, I'm getting ready to move. I don't like all that, I'm getting ready to move. I'm moving. Somebody holler, I'm moving. See, the thing is this here. When you get ready to move, you got to get to the point to where you decide, I refuse to stay in the same place. And guess what? When I'm getting ready to move, I'm ready to fix what I need to fix. Because what I don't fix will mess me up after I move.
That's right. Amen. Come on now.
What you don't fix in one place will be the thing the enemy uses against you in another place. See, sometimes you got to ask yourself, how much have you grown? Because see, you had the attitude last year. Year before that. Year before that. Same stuff got on your nerve. Same stuff got under your skin. We finna be married 12 years, I think 11 years. 11 years. Okay. We know more about each other in 11 years than we did earlier.
All right.
Because see, it took growth. She used to get on my nerves, and I used to get on her nerves.
All right.
Because when you don't know each other, even though we were married, we didn't know each other.
That's right.
Now we know each other, then we don't pay each other no attention. One say something, you go off, the other one just keep on going. We used to say stuff to each other, and it was struggle for days. Wouldn't speak, wouldn't talk, wouldn't do nothing. Now we can argue, and it's over with, and the next few minutes she'll say, you want something to eat?
Come on now.
I say, you come in and watch a movie with me? Because when you grow, the things should not be showing up that was showing up at one time.
That's right.
Growth makes those things not happen. If they continue to happen, it's an indication you haven't grown.
Come on now.
And you can't keep putting it on the same people all the time, because it could be you not growing.
That's right.
Because see, sometimes we don't want to hear the truth that maybe I ain't growing. Because I didn't.
Come on.
What you talking about? I know what I got going. I know. But I was just jacked up and didn't even know it.
All right.
I was just jacked up and I didn't know it. But then I had to finally come to a conclusion of, you know what? You got some stuff you need to fix. And I'm sitting there going like, really? When the Lord said you got some stuff you need to fix, I'm talking about, she got stuff she need to fix. He said, no, you got some stuff you need to fix. See, when you mature up, the Holy Spirit can talk to you, and you hear it, and you'll understand it, and you won't have a problem with it. Because God would allow you to be in a place for a season. and he'll let you go through some stuff to build a resume, to build your testimony. And so he said, but don't get addicted to the place. I'm going to let you go through the place, but don't you get addicted to the place, because I'm letting you build a testimony. Because see, you can't talk about how good God is if you can't talk about what you've been through. If you can't talk about what you overcame and what you survived, then who's going to listen at you anyway? Nobody wants to hear a riches to riches story. People trying to hear rags to riches story. And if you can't talk about how crazy you was to the point to where God done brought you to the point that you are now. Because see, sometimes we just testify and we skinning and grinning, but people don't know we look good on the outside, but we just tore up from the floor up on the inside. Because see, you can put some Mary Kay on, get your hair done, wear the right hat, and look all awesome. But if people got any sense to know what was down on the inside, that's why a lot of stuff you can't fix because you can't get rid of. So the enemy's job is to keep you moving and making decisions, because see, he hopes that you done been through so much that it done paralyzed you. Paralyzed you, kept you from moving. You can be so damaged that you're paralyzed, because see, first of all, when he drops stuff on you, that's his whole intention, is to keep you from moving into what God said. See, some of us shouted last night, but if you don't keep the shout going, then you'll still be fighting the same old stuff, and you'll be looking for the service to be. That's like sometimes we come because we want the service to be like it was last night. No, the service won't be like it was last night unless you get in the place you was in last night. Stop hitching a ride. Stop hitching a ride with somebody else and bring your own fire. No, y'all hear what I'm saying? And so the thing is this: God says, when I get you to a place, he says, I'm getting ready to bless you, but you got to learn that the blessings are not free. 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 Okay, Joshua chapter 1, verse 5. Joshua chapter 1, verse 5. Look what God says. This is what God is saying. He's getting ready to bless them. Verse 5, he says, there shall not be any man able to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so shall I be with thee. He says, now, I'm getting ready to bless you. I done told you I'm getting ready to bless you. Then verse 6, look what he says. He says, be strong and of good courage. For unto this people shall thou divide an inheritance of land, which I swear to their fathers. Verse 7, only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou may observe to do all according to that which Moses, my servant, commanded thee. Turn not from thee the right hand or the left hand, that thou may prosper wheresoever thou go. Verse 8, this book of the law shall depart not out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate on it day and night, that thou may observe to do according to all that is written. For thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Remember, we talking about success? Okay, now look at verse 9. Have I not commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. Wait a minute. Okay, now, for 3 verses, you said something that makes me have to check in to what you say. Okay, because see, I'm coming out of a place that it ain't very much I have to worry about. And I'm going into a place, but you keep saying, be strong. Okay, why you keep saying stuff like that? Why you keep saying, okay, look what he says in verse 6. He says, be strong and of good courage. Verse 7, only be thou strong and very courageous. Now, why? I got you. Okay, then he gets to verse 9. He says, have not commanded thee, be strong, good courage, and be not afraid. Why should I not be afraid? What is it that you finna do in my life that's gonna scare the hell out of me? He said, because you ain't seen the blessings that I'm getting ready to give you. He says, and if you're not strong enough to go in and get them, if you're not anointed enough to go in and get them, they will make you fearful because you don't feel like you can handle it. He says, and the truth is, you're not supposed to handle it. I'm the one that's handling it for you. And you just go in and get what I handle. Because, see, he sent them into a place where there was nothing but giants. Okay? The giants, when they saw the giants didn't see them. They saw the giants. And they were running because they were afraid of the giant. Well, Pumpkin, if God sent you in there and there was giants in there, he knew the giants was in there before he sent you. And if he sent you in there with the giants, he wasn't trying to give you midget blessings. He was trying to give you giant blessings. What makes you think eyes have not seen nor ears heard? He says, I'm going to give you stuff that's going to be so big because the grapes wasn't the ones that you could buy at Rouse's. The grapes were so big that they had to put them on a pole and two people had to carry them. Why? Because they was grown by giants and they were supposed to be eaten by giants. But God would let the giants think he's farming the land for himself only to give it to you. But you can't be afraid. You got to be willing to go in and take it because God's getting ready to shift your life stronger than it's ever been shifted before. Somebody holler, I'm in transition. No wonder the devil fighting me. No wonder the devil's after me. He's trying to get me not to see what God's getting ready to do. Because if you don't see it, you don't want it, you ain't trying to get it. But when you see it, you start talking about, okay, my good season coming. I'm getting ready to live my best life. My best, somebody holler my best life. Not the rest of them, and the rest of me is going to be the best of me. Because I ain't worried about where I've been. I'm excited about where I'm going. And if the right people ain't with me, cut them off. Get rid of them. I don't have time to be with because I'm in transition. See, you can't expect for folks to be happy for you when God brings you from the same place they in. They chose to stay. You choose to leave. You don't have to go with me. I'll go by myself. Because if God be for me, who can be? Come on, Bishop. So when we don't want to change our ways, we want God to fix stuff our ways. We don't want to change our ways. We want to keep our ways because, see, this is how we're raised. This all I know. My mama and them told me that. How's that working for you, Punky? Okay. You got folks who trying to stay married and listen to folks who ain't. Come on now. You got folks pouring in your ear. You got folks who ain't happy pouring in your ear. Come on now. I just need to talk to somebody. You need to find somebody to talk to who's moving. Yeah, that's right. Because you can be talking to somebody who's still in their track. That's right. Yes. My God. Yes. That's why I tell folks, be careful how you let stuff leak from one house to the other. That's right. Because the people change. That's right. Some things you can't bring home. That's right. The other person, you got it home. Be like I used to tell my kids, hey, well, so-and-so and them get to do it. Wait a minute, they don't deal with me. You do. All right. Okay, if you like the consequences, try it. All right. Miss Smith and them don't have nothing to do with this house. Like I don't have nothing to do with that house. That's right. My office used to be down at the bottom of the stairs. And my youngest daughter, you come down, and as soon as she hit the bottom of the stairs, you go right back up there and change that. Young. Now I can't stop what you take outside and dress when you go wherever you go. But when you leave the house, you got to come past me. Yeah, that's right. Amen. Yes. Miss Jones folk might not have to do that. You have to live with Cook. Yeah. So see, you can't be doing. See, you want God to do stuff based on how you think, and God says, if I do that, then you be gone. All right. Yeah. All right. I'm working to your system. You're going to have to change your system, transition it, and move it to mine. Glory to God. Yeah. Okay, Isaiah chapter 55. Teach us that. Y'all been shouted enough this week. Come on, teach us. I'm going to structure it out tonight. Isaiah 55. Verse 6. through 8. So it says, to seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his ways, and the unrighteous man's his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord, and he will have abundant mercy upon him, and our God, for he will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts. Neither are my ways your ways.
Right.
Now see, thoughts come from words.
True. Yeah. True.
Thoughts come from words. Thoughts come from what's in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And usually behind thoughts come actions.
Amen.
So if I think like God, I act like God.
Okay.
See, some stuff you can't get changed because it's your thinking on it. It's your system on it. Even though it don't work, you still got your own system. Because see, you got a system. Okay, when it comes down to money, come down to tithing. He got a system of 10%. You try to slide 7.
Right.
You try to slide 3. You try to slide whatever it is. Because see, you don't believe, and a lot of people don't believe in tithing. A lot of people don't believe in tithing, and that's up to you if you don't believe in tithing. I tell folks, you don't have to believe in tithing. It works for me. It works for me. Giving works for me. It might work for you, but it's like praise. Some people sit in church and won't move, and then look at you when you praise like you don't violated something. See, praise works for me. If it works for me, I'm gonna be loud. So you might ought to know who you sitting by before you sit down. Because I ain't finna tone it down because you quiet. Because I ain't trying to get your attention anyway. I'm trying to get his attention. And if I gotta holler to get his attention, look like I'm gonna be hollering. If I gotta run, look like I'm running. If I gotta move some furniture, baby, back up. Because I'm finna move some furniture because I'm trying to get what I need to get. Because see, the more word I have in me, the more I act like God. See, that's what's wrong with a lot of people. You don't act like God because you ain't got no word in you.
All right, come on, Pastor. True.
Some things happen in your life. When it happens in your life, the God part comes out. And when the God part comes out, that what makes you look at people and go, boy, I'm glad I'm saved. I'm glad I'm saved. The God part make you go sit down. The other part, the hood part, make you go check them out. Make you step to them and handle some stuff the wrong way. But when the God part shows up, it's the part. You be talking about, I know I'm saved. I know I'm saved. I remember when I started at church 30 years ago, we was in a meeting and I had a deacon who stood up and raised his voice in a meeting. My daddy was in the meeting. And my daddy stood up and told him, man, sit down. I seen rabbits better than you. So when that happened and the meeting was over, he looked at me, he said, boy, you done changed. He said, I remember a few years ago, we had to come get you off of him. I was just sitting there, I was just nonchalant because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm where I'm supposed to be. So I'm gonna let you get on my nerves, but he got on my dad's nerves. And then every now and then, as a pastor, you need some people, some wish a nigga would people around you anyway. Every now and then you gotta have some people. See, everybody ain't gotta be on your team, got to be meek and humble. You gotta have some cut off of ear niggas on your team, man. Every now and then you got some people that will say something. Some of my elders, one of my elders said, Bishop, you ain't got it. Let me handle this one. Tell me in a minute. My reputation, your reputation is more important than mine. So you have to understand. Israel was in the blessed place, but couldn't flow in it.
All right.
How you get in the blessed place, can't flow in it? How is it you finally get to the blessed place but cannot enjoy it?
All right.
You know what I mean? People struggle to get to the blessed place, and then you get to the blessed place and can't enjoy the place you're in. That don't make a whole lot. Because the importance that the devil don't want you to understand is this: if you out of word, you run out of word, you can't learn how to enjoy ugly places.
All right.
It's only when you got enough word that comforts you when you're in ugly places until God brings you to the blessed place. See, I understand I'm in transition, which means I'm moving. And I might go through some rough places, but it don't mean it's over. It don't mean that I done lost. It just means I'm going through a rough place. Look at somebody and say, I'm in transition.
I'm in transition.
Because you have to be willing to move if you're going to be in transition. People who are in transition can't stay in the same place because they are always deciding they're going to move. Because once they reach one level, they say there's another level out there for me. Now, I ain't mad at you if you stay in your same level. I ain't going to push you, I ain't going to drag you, and I ain't going to pull you, but I will leave you. I will leave you. I will leave you, because if you ain't willing to make transition, then I ain't willing to let you hold me in the place. Because look at somebody and say, I got somewhere to go. Because see, growth is what makes us move forward. Watch this. Once you stop growing, you stop going. Because once you stop growing, you stop seeing what God is doing in your life. Because anytime you look at a child that was 5 and still wearing 3 teeth, you're 5 and you're still wearing 3 teeth. Now you're 12 and you're still wearing size 5. You're wearing small clothes. You know what that means? You're not growing. Because see, some of us still can put on stuff you should be in our group.
That's right.
You put on that same attitude, you should be in our group. You put on that same mindset, you should be in our group. You still snapping, you should be in our group. And if you had not grew it, then you got to ask yourself, are you moving?
Are you moving?
Are you here? Because what the enemy don't want you to do, he never wants you to move. Because if he can keep you in the same place, he can keep doing the same thing. The devil don't have no problem with you coming to church. He don't want you growing. He don't mind you coming to church and shouting. I don't want you growing. I don't mind you lifting your hands. I don't want you growing. Because if you're not growing, I ain't got to worry about you moving. And so God says, I want to know, can you hear me now? When you get in ugly places, can the Spirit still talk to you in a place? And if you've been in it a while, can it still talk to you? Because sometimes when you've been in something a long time, you start getting to the point to where you assume you ain't gonna never move. And if you think you ain't gonna never move, then you'll never start looking for a move. But if you've been in something a while and you know God's gonna move you, you don't care what nobody say, you don't care what nobody else think. You say, as for me and my house, we up out this mug. We got to go somewhere else. God got too much coming for me to get to the place. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Because see, if you got enough word in you, trouble don't break you, it defines you. Trouble don't do nothing but make you bad. It makes you show what you got on the inside. Every now and then you ought to be glad you went through something to show what you could do, to show what kind of God you look at somebody and say, God got a plan. And the plan says, I know the thoughts and the plans that I think toward you. He said it good, not evil, and they're going to bring you to an expected end. God said, I got a place I designed from you from the foundation of the world. And you've been sidetracked, but tonight you're going to relocate. Look at somebody and say, I'm getting ready to relocate. Okay, because if you understand, Elijah went down to a place that God sent him. Go to the brook, Charity. Go down there. He says, go down to the brook. I have commanded a raven to feed you. Now see, here you go. The word raven actually it means meat decimator, which actually means buzzard. They don't share their food. But God didn't command it a buzzard to drop you off some meat. And you got water down here to drink. And all of it was sent to sustain you. Then the scripture said, howbeit the brook dried up. He said, but go to Zarephath, because I have commanded a widow to sustain you. God says, all I need you to do is move where I tell you to move. When I move, you move. Just like that. That's what God said. That's all I need you to do. I need you to be moving. If I tell you somewhere to go, don't worry about who else ain't going. Don't worry about who else ain't doing it. You just worry about this is where I gotta go. Because when I get there, what I'm looking for, God has already got it. I want to start by to let you know your best days are ahead of you. I'm going to say it again. Your best days are ahead of you. And your worst days are behind you.
Yes, they are.
Now, you can't expect God to do more for you when you're satisfied with the same place.
Yes.
Israel wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. And when God got ready to bless them, he said, you're going to have to come out of the wilderness and you're going to have enough faith to go to Canaan. Now, this is the problem. When they got to the Jordan River, it was overflowing. It was in flood stages. Now, the truth is, it's in flood stages because now you got to trust God to get across to the place. But you ain't never tried God in the flood stages. Israel tried him at the Red Sea. Now, the Red Sea, Moses stretched forth his rod and they went across on dry land. But the next level goes, this time, ain't nobody stretching no rod. You gonna have to put your foot in it. Okay? You ain't had to do that at the Red Sea, but at the Jordan River, you got to put your foot in it. You got to put your foot in it because guess what? It's that flood stage. And the reason you're scared to put your foot in it because you can't swim. And you're afraid that if you put your foot too far out there, the Jordan River will sweep you away. Well, God says, all I need you to do is have enough faith in me that if you put your foot in it, and the Bible says as soon as their foot touched the water started backing up. I just want to tell somebody what God got for you is requiring you to step into some places you ain't never stepped before. But since you ain't never stepped before, don't mean God ain't gonna bless you if you get to stepping. How far your neighbor say get to stepping? Look at somebody say get to stepping. If you believe God, start walking in it. If you believe in God for your next step, just take you some steps. Me and my house, my blessings are getting ready to happen. My fresh anointing is coming. More money is coming. I don't know how you gonna do it, but that ain't my business. I gotta have enough faith to start walking in it. Look at somebody and say, I dare you to walk in it. See, if you want to start acting like you want something fresh. Look at somebody and say, I'm tired of still blessings. I'm looking for something fresh. You want a fresh hairdo? You want fresh clothes? You want fresh meat? You want fresh bread? You want fresh fruit? You want fresh shoes? You want everything fresh, but you satisfied with stale shirt. The devil is a lie. I want something fresh. Look at somebody say, this is going to be my season of fresh. If you believe this is going to be your season of fresh, high five your neighbor and say, this is my season of fresh. What I didn't see before, I'm getting ready to see. What I couldn't touch before, I'm getting ready to touch. What I couldn't have before, I'm getting ready to have it. What I didn't know before, I'm getting ready to know. Look at somebody and say, neighbor, it's getting ready to happen at my house. I got to go. I got to go. I feel like something's ready to shift. Look at somebody and say, the shift is on in my life. I'm stepping in this some new stuff. I'm stepping into some fresh stuff. I'm stepping into some better stuff. I'm stepping into some more anointed stuff. Somebody holler, it's happening for me. See, that's why you can't let offenses cause you to stop moving. Because guess what? Offenses ain't nothing but offense. That's designed to keep you out of your blessed place. That's why when your spirit gets pinched and your spirit get wounded, you quit moving. That's why the devil keeps trying to damage you so you can't move. Look at somebody and say, my better days are ahead of me. And my worst days are behind me. The best of me is in the rest of me. And where I'm going is better than where I've been. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, I'm getting ready to move. God said this is your season for you to move. And you can't be afraid, but you got to be able to trust him. Because this is what he said, the steps of a good man are by the Lord. He's a light unto my feet and a lamp unto my pathway. That's why you just start stepping and believe in God that he's able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all you can ask or think. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, eyes have not seen, nor ears have not heard, and neither has it entered the heart of man the things that the Lord has. Somebody holler, it's for me, it's for me. Let me show you something. I gotta go. Let me show you something. Tim, Jesus was raised in a city.
Come on.
And he's raised in a city that the people of the city didn't like it. And the scripture says, because they didn't like him, they didn't believe in him, he could not do many miracles in his own city.
Yeah, come on.
And the part I like about it was, instead of trying to make them believe, he got up and skipped across the street to another road. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying? He went to Capernaum instead of the place where he was raised and started doing many miracles in the place. It wasn't that he didn't have power, it's that they didn't believe. But it wasn't that he was going to stay there and make them get it. He decided he was moving. This is what you got to do. You got to make up in your mind, I'm moving from where I used to be. And I'm moving to where I need to be. Because if I'm going to get what God got on my life, it's going to be through the power of transition. I'm finished. If you're going to get what God got for you, it's going to be on the power of transition. You got to move your body. You got to move your spirit. You got to move your mind. You have to decide, I'm moving. One of the things with us is we want the blessing, but we ain't willing to relocate.
All right now.
You fill out an application for a job and they don't have one in New Orleans, but they got one in Mobile.
All right now.
You talking about, well, I was raised in New Orleans. Okay, they don't have a job in New Orleans.
That's right.
Well, I'm used to red beans on Monday. Like, okay. See, let me show you how we are. We fall into such ruts and systems that we do stuff because everybody else do.
Come on now.
Why you gotta have red beans on Monday? You might have a taste for them on Friday. But we usually do fish. No, that's what you done got into a rut. And your taste buds can't even change. And you done got so caught up in something because that's what they do. And God said, that ain't what I'm doing. Because you can be so loyal to a place you came out of.
Yes.
And never be excited about the place you're going to. You got to ask yourself, will you relocate?
Yes.
If what you're looking for might not be in the city you used to have. Folk be telling me, I don't go to a big city. I don't know how to drive. Learn. Not only learn to drive, catch subways, catch everything. Just like everybody who came there had to learn.
All right. Amen.
So if your destiny is there, why you got to try to make God change it to you? Because, I don't know about nobody else. There's sometimes you come up with stuff, young folks, you done ate the same thing so long that you ain't like it.
Yeah.
You ain't want it. You want it, but that's what you had to eat. You had to eat that because that's what. Okay, now God has got you where you can pick what you want to eat. You hadn't even noticed. Because some of the meals you had coming up wasn't even meals. They were put together. You know what I call them meals? What the hell? They said, well, what the hell? Whatever the hell was in the cabinet. My mama used to just put stuff together and made a meal. Didn't even have a name for it. That's how come sometimes could you make that again? Nope. But the same stuff now I don't have to do. I do it if I want to do it. But God done blessed me. It would be a problem to God to bless you so well and you still functioning. That's like some people. This is how their mentality is. You living in an iPad world with a typewriter mentality.
Oh, yes. Lord. Wow.
You're in an iPad world with a typewriter mentality. Now the typewriter was great in its day. You could type a letter, then you had to go get it copied. Then you had to mail it. That took 4-5 days for it to get cross country. Now you type the letter on your iPad and hit send, and it's there in seconds. But you still talking about, well, I'm a typewriter person. You just slow. And usually you like that because you want to be comfortable in what you know and you don't want to relearn nothing else. You know why people don't want to relearn? Because you're scared of failing. You can buy a car that can do all kind of things and you can't do none of things because you don't. When God is transitioning you, you can't be afraid to step into stuff. I started running a recycle plant, running a baler that's a computer. It ain't nothing but a computer part. I got a 30-minute tutorial from the designer. When he got finished, he says, you got it? I said, yep. I'm saying to myself, don't have a clue. You gave me and guess what? As soon as he left, I started mashing buttons. What this do? What this do? And right now, the same machine, I can stand outside and listen and tell you what it's doing.
Wow.
They'll call me out of town. The machine doing this, do this, and that's it. Guess what? Because I was willing to learn by taking some chances. Some of you can't get what God got for you because it makes you uncomfortable to not know. And when you're uncomfortable for not knowing, you start not trying.
Yes.
You can tell the difference between a group of people who know the song and people who guessing at the song. Because they reading lips. They're half a count behind because they watching your lips to see the word. And they're not going to say it loud and they're not going to say it hard because they know that might be the right one and that might not be the right one. And guess what? But watch this. The people suffer.
Yeah. Come on, bitch.
Because you won't learn what you need to learn to sing it with forcefulness to change lives. Because the songs that you're singing are songs that they got on the radio, songs they got CDs. So how come you don't know your part? You know why? Because you ain't been listening to no CDs. Because you put on a set of headphones and be doing other stuff, listening to the song you need to sing.
Come on, bitch.
That's how oftentimes people who preach, because you don't study, you don't read, you don't do, you say the same stuff. Simply because you won't expose yourself to more. Because when you expose yourself to more, it calls for more. So you can't make it to big stages because you got little man. Not that God ain't blessed nobody else more than he blessed you. The Lord has afforded me to be in the presence of some of the major people in the preaching industry. And some of them I preached in their church and preaching conference with them. And people ask me, they say, how do you feel when you're around Noah Jones? I say, like Bishop Cook. They say, well, what'd you do when you got that? I went and got the mic just like he did. And I felt like if he could holler, I could too.
That's right.
So I've been all these type people. You've been in doing all kinds of stuff with people. And people would let me do stuff because I was crazy enough that if God said I could do it. If God said I could do it, that's the same thing he told me. How is it that we will live beneath our privileges and get frustrated and say, I'm blessed and highly favored? But the reason you don't say it with no authority because you really don't believe it. Last thing I'll tell you is this. A child can be running around bad and folks can say, sit down and quit. Don't do that. Stop. And the child keeps doing it. If you don't stop them or whip it, the reason they keep doing it because they're saying you lying. Let somebody check them. Come on. Somebody will check them. Sit down. Stop. You better not do that. They get ready to do stuff. They look at you. They freeze in the air because they know immediately some consequences will come. Then they talking about they'll obey you. You know why they obey me? Because I set it in place. So the devil is the same way. You sit up in church talking about hallelujah. Who's scared of that? Hallelujah is a word that's supposed to be used forceful because it comes from, it's synonymous with a person who's doing karate moves, makes a sound before they make an attack. And he was like, hallelujah. And when you don't have no word, you fighting with a butter knife. When you don't know no word, you fighting with a butter knife. And the Bible said the word is powerful, quick, and sharper than any two-edged sword. Anybody run up on you with a butter knife. Don't nobody run up on you with a razor. You swinging a razor, they're gonna cause somebody to shoot you because they ain't been. The devil knows who he can run up on by the attitude that you carry. But tonight you gotta decide, I'm making transition. I'm moving. I ain't gonna be nervous no more. I ain't gonna be scared no more. Because that's what he uses against you. He's always used fear to keep you out. Then people say, well, I ain't none of Bishop Cook. Well, act like it. You don't have to be me. But if you're around me, you're ought to be able to pick up some of my traits.
Come on,
I ain't asked you to be me. But if you got somebody in front of you that's showing you some traits that you wish and desire to have, God said, all I need you to do is believe. That's all I need you to do is to believe. And if you can believe it, you can receive it. If you believe that, give God praise right there.